So those of you that don't know Susanna, she is the Executive Artistic Director for the Weston Playhouse. You can see all kinds of great information about her as well as the Playhouse on westonplayhouse.org. She comes to us with a degree from Yale, Columbia, and the University of Chicago. I'll let her go into detail what she wants to tell us about herself, and then what's going on this summer, and then maybe a little questions and answer session afterward. Thank you and welcome again.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I won't talk about myself, but I'm happy to answer any questions. But I did want to tell you a little bit about the summer, and I'm most eager to hear any questions or responses you all have. I hope for this to be a conversation. But just to give you all an overview, in case you haven't seen our season, we announced our season about a little over a month ago, and we've just gone on sale today. We had been on sale for subscriptions, and just this morning we went on sale to the general public for single tickets. So it's a big day at the theater. So, you know, the big question that I'm sure all of us faced as we prepared for the summer was, what can we do? Can we do anything? And normally at the theater, we produce 7 shows between the end of June and October. This year, we are doing a total of 4. So we're doing a very scaled down season. Typically, our largest show at the theater has a cast of about 20 to 25 people. This year, our largest cast is 8 people, and that's our young company. Our largest professional equity show is 6 people. So our shows themselves are going to be a lot smaller. And the big thing that we decided this year, and this is a decision we actually only made a few weeks ago, was that we are moving all of our shows outside. They're going to be performed under a tent on the grounds of our new theater, Walker Farm. So we had a lot of things to figure out this year, and we tried really hard to give ourselves time to make decisions and sort of let ourselves see how things would lay out, while also recognizing that we had to get the shows ready. So that's the kind of overview of how we're approaching the summer. It was a really hard season, I have to say. I'll confess, it was a hard season to put together, because to find the balance of the kind of stories that we usually like to tell in a season, we like to sort of find a range of fun, playful, comedic, and serious, thoughtful. Sometimes people call those shows a little bit more difficult. I like to think of them as just a space for conversation. We wanted to find that balance in a way that would work with our pared down season. So I ended up being really excited with the shows that we put together. We're starting the season with a play called an Iliad. This is the first of 2 modern classics that we're doing this season. So an Iliad is based on Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, whereas that is a very long and sometimes hard to read masterpiece. This is a really fast moving, very contemporary, and really beautifully written and exciting look at the history of not just war, but of how we as individuals and as communities come together in moments of difficulty. It's I think, a really special piece to open our season with, because it absolutely is a piece that says, you know, when a community comes together to figure something out, they can do anything. And it feels like that's what we've all just done. And so it's really a kind of celebration in many ways of our home in Vermont. It's written to be set where it's happening. So there may be some moments where we actually get to hear about some of the towns in our neighborhood and things like that. That is a one-man show. So that gives you a sense of, you know, how small we're going. It's a one-man show. We did decide we're bringing music into it, and our young company of college actors are going to participate in it musically as well. So that's our first show. Then we open our Theater for Young Audiences, our family show, and that's Seussical the Musical. So that's a kind of beautiful collage of a number of Dr. Seuss stories that centers on Horton the elephant and the story of a town that he saves, a town that's so small it fits on the head of a pin, and that nobody believes exists, but he believes in it, and because of his belief, he saves the town from destruction. It's a really beautiful show, and we're doing something a little different with it this year. For the past many years, we've opened that show in Weston at our new theater, Walker Farm, and we've stayed there. This year, we're actually taking that show on tour through towns throughout the region, as far north as Shelburne, actually, and over to Bennington and Brattleboro. And so we're really going to be just sort of taking it on the road and bringing it to families throughout the state. We're also this year going to be presenting it for free. Typically, we do sell tickets to it. And this year, we just thought this was really an important year to bring theater and an opportunity to gather as far and wide as we could, and to make it as accessible as we could. So that will be going on the last week of July and the first week of August. Then we open Ring of Fire, which is the Johnny Cash musical. This is going to be really fun. It's loosely based on the life of Johnny Cash, but it's sort of beautifully not a strict autobiography. So you don't have to sort of tackle that problem of no one can ever be Johnny Cash other than Johnny Cash. And I say this as someone who's been spending a lot of time watching movies about Johnny Cash. And even Joaquin Phoenix couldn't pull it off. This is really a kind of, it brings his music to life through the creation of a band of actor musicians who tell the story of really key moments, not only in his life, but in the life of the country that he lived in. So, oh, did I freeze?
You did, just a moment.
Oh, do you have me back?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it looks at his biography, but it also places his biography in the context of the country. So it looks at the Depression when he was a boy and how he grew up and how his family overcame that. It looks at how he put his band together and the kind of birth of rock and roll. It's really a really fun, playful, and it's kind of like a concert with a story. So it's going to be really a blast. And then our last show of the season, which is the fall show, is a play called The Mountaintop. And this is our second modern classic. This is another play that was premiered about 10 years ago. And it was on Broadway with Samuel L. Jackson. And it's an incredible play about Martin Luther King. And it imagines the life, the last night of his life in a way that none of us will have ever imagined it before. It sort of imagines the story of him encountering a young woman who's a maid in the motel, in the Lorraine Motel, and the conversation they have and how it really changes his perspective and makes him see not just all of the amazing good that he's done in the world, but also how he is more than a hero, how he's just a person like any of us. It's a really beautiful story. And it also has a kind of unbelievable twist at the end that I can't tell you, it would ruin it. But it's a kind of dream play. And I mean that in two ways. I mean, one, that there is a kind of dream aspect to it, but also that it's full of imagination. And it really does ask us all to imagine possibilities and imagine how we all have a role to play in making our communities and our relationships and our friendships as good as they can possibly be. So it's a really special play. I'm really excited that we're doing it. It's also the play that we'll be doing in the fall, which means that it's our student matinee show. So it will be performed for high school students who come to us from throughout the region. So that's our season. And then while that's all happening, we've got some other things going on. We're actually at the end of now this month, it's June. At the very end of this month, we're going to be welcoming Kat Wright to the theater. She's an amazing Vermont musician. And then we've got a couple of other music shows that we're doing, some concerts. This is something we've been doing more and more in the winter. We've been doing sort of weekend concerts at Walker Farm. And since we had to cancel them in 2020, we were literally a night away from doing our last music event of the winter when we had to cancel because of COVID. We wanted to bring them back for the summer so that audiences could get a taste of that as soon as possible. So we'll be doing that in June and July. And then we'll actually bring that back again, more music in the winter, November, December, January, February, March. And then in December, we're also going to do the return of our holiday cabaret. And if anybody's ever come to that, that is a super hysterical, funny, and beautiful night of Christmas carols and holiday song in the style of our cabaret. So there are cows and cheese and silliness, as well as some really beautiful singing. So that's basically the outline of the summer. So not as much as usual, but we still have a ton going on right now, a ton we're preparing for. And as I said, I'm really happy and eager to answer any questions or hear any thoughts and responses.
Well, thanks for that. My only question is, what is the twist at the end of the Mountaintop?
Oh, I
No,
can't tell you.
No.
It's really, I
any
don't know if anybody saw I and You, but it has a similar kind of, you think you're watching one story and then you realize that you've been watching a very different story, and it makes a beautiful thing even more beautiful.
Well, excited about Homer, the Iliad, because that was a required reading in my my high school AP class that I took. And you're right, it is a lengthy book. So I'd like to see the fun version of that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
It still has its hard points. I wouldn't want to say it's not a comedy, but it's definitely, it's a quick hour and a half. David Bonanno, who I'm sure many of you have seen on our stage, he's an amazing actor, will be playing the poet Homer. Yeah, it's really wonderful.
So anyone have any questions for Susanna? I'm scrolling through, so I can't see everyone at once.
Yeah. I have a question for all of you.
Okay.
How ready do you all feel to go out and go to the theater?
I'm ready. I'll speak for myself. I am ready.
Yeah.
Tom's ready. Kim's ready. Paul's ready. It looks like we're all there. So I would guess that if not all of us, most of us are already vaccinated. So no worries there. And I think that there's a lot of pent up excitement and the wanting to go out and do things now that we can. So that'd be great. I also had a question on the Seussical the Musical. So you're saying that's going to be free on the satellite shows that you do? Are you doing like town theaters? And is it going to be free at Walker Farm as well?
It's free everywhere. Yes, it'll be free in Weston, and I believe it's 10 other towns that we're going to. We'll actually be performing it outdoors as well.
Oh, outdoors. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And it's got a really fun design to sort of situate it outside. But yeah, it'll be free everywhere this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those events, are there tickets to be, so you can guarantee a seat sort of thing, or?
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, we, if you'll be getting, if you're on our mailing list, you'll get an email in a moment, if you haven't already, that explains that we do ask people to sign up in advance, even for the free shows. Of course, some people might pass by and stop in, and that's fine, but we do want to keep the capacity. You know, we want to be able to contact trace if we need to and everything. So yeah, so you'll be able to go to our website. In fact, you can do it today, and choose your location and sign up. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Anyone else have a question? Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I have another question about Seussical. Is there a way you're trying to like target the people you want to see, or you really encouraging to see the show, particularly as you take it, around the area?
Yeah, in most places, we are partnering with either a library or an elementary school, a community group. So we are, in each location, we're forming partnerships with local organizations, most of whom have connections either to school-age kids or families and things like that. And of course, again, we're sort of, we welcome everyone, but indeed, we did want to sort of make sure that we were reaching kids especially. Yeah. And it's also been a really fun way. One of the things that happened in the past year, especially amongst arts organizations in Vermont, is that we all started talking to each other a lot more than we had in the past. So this tour has been a really great way to, call up my partner organizations and say, hey, let's do something together. And really all I'm asking from you as a partner is to help us find a venue and to help us get an audience. And so it's been really fun as a way of just collaborating.
It's a great way to get kids interested in theater too. The first time I went to a theater, I just had no idea what to expect, and it was just awesome, right?
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't rain.
I know.
That's our big. I just kept saying to the weather. Yeah. So the backup is different for the two versions. So for Seussical, in all cases, we have a bit of the show must go on, rain or shine. So until it reaches the point at which it's not safe, we're going to try to press on. Seussical won't be under a tent, so that means the actors will also be getting wet. And we need them for the performances that evening of an Iliad, so they can't get sick. So the bar for the rain is a little bit lower on Seussical. We have held back a couple of dates so that if we do run into a rain situation, we could reschedule or invite folks to Weston. Under the tent, because it's covered, it's actually why I decided I wanted to do this under a tent rather than in the open air, like a lot of theaters in the region are doing. Under the tent, people will be protected. Unless it's a real deluge, you won't get wet. So we will press on. We might have to hold occasionally if the noise of the rain on the tent gets to be too much, but the plan is to, show must go on unless there's an unsafe situation like lightning. No, but I truly did all weekend while it was raining here. I was like, get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Your system. Let's do it now. Of course, we need the rain, but yeah.
How about anyone else for a question for Susanna? It looks like there are no more questions. Any closing statements or information we should know?
Yeah, just tickets are on sale. They went on sale today. I've actually just heard that the music shows are starting to sell out. So, one of the tricks right now is because we're doing decreased capacity to allow for social distancing.
Right.
But the governor is loosening orders. So we're a little bit in a moment of, oh, we're selling out, but actually we can add seats. But I'd get your tickets now if you can. Yeah.
We were dealing with a few of those things that we have coming up. So we can start out with a certain number, but then once the governor gives us to go, then we can go from 300 to 1,000.
Exactly.
So we're hoping, and that might even happen next week. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But no, I hope to see you all, and please, be in touch if you have any questions, or if you are able to make it, let me know, and I'll keep an eye out for you all.
Sounds great. And again, that's westonplayhouse.org. If you haven't been to the website, go to the website, and you can find all the information there. And thank you so much, Susanna Gellert. We appreciate you coming, and we'll see you again. So hopefully at the place.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you all. Great to see you.
All right. You take care.
Take care.